of the week. It is April 19th. This week's code of conduct is to drive safely, defensively, and courteously. Ben, do you have any words of wisdom on this code item this week?
Yeah, that our interaction with the public, our biggest exposure with the public is out on the roads. And we're wearing that big logo and people pay attention. So it's one way of keeping our reputation the way we want it is to be respectful when we're driving.
So keep that following distance.
Yep.
37 days from our last recordable, and then 7 days from our last first aid injury. That was a flash burn to the eyes. So we're going to talk more about that, the safety community, about how we could have maybe better setup. We'll talk about our PPE for that type of hot work. With that said, we're going to talk more about on the health side of the health and safety program. We brought in Beth Schiller with Champlain Medical to kind of talk about Shingles and a new program that we have for employees. All right, Beth, take it away.
Good morning. Shingles, and we're not talking about the shingles on the top of the roof, but the shingles on your body. I'm going to talk a little bit about what shingles is, how you get it, how you keep from getting it, and what you can do, to prevent yourself from getting it. Well, there you go. So what shingles is, symptoms, signs, transmission, some prevention, and then how you would treat shingles if you get it. Next slide, Matt. So what is shingles? Basically, it's this painful rash that affects just one side of your body. It'll never cross the spine, and that's because of how the disease works. Anybody who's had chickenpox, and I'm told even if you are younger and you've had the chickenpox vaccine, you do have the ability to get shingles. And what it is it's a rash, as well as what we call nerve pain that can be 2 to 4 weeks in length. And for some people, it can be even longer. And that's why sometimes we want to prevent that. So what happens when you get shingles? You may end up with a fever. You may end up with this painful rash, a headache. And normally what happens is before that rash shows up, you may feel some nerve pain, some deep, dull, not really sure how to best explain it, but you're going to feel like there's something not right. And then a day or two later, you break out with this rash. So that's kind of to be on the lookout for symptoms like that. So shingles, typically older adults, although I'm seeing younger people in their 30s who are getting shingles. Most of the times it's 50 and older is where we see the lion's share of folks getting shingles. And like I said, symptoms, headache, fever, upset stomach, chills, you don't feel well. And then again, the big thing is the rash is always going to be on one side of the body and it's not going to cross the spine. So if you see a rash on 2 sides of your body, it's not shingles. And like I said, for the rash will come out, you might experience some very odd and tingling sensation. And then a day or two later, that rash comes out. How do you get shingles? Shingles, again, it's caused by chickenpox. So you had chickenpox when you were a kid. It's been kind of hanging out in your body for a long time. And all of a sudden, something reactivates the chickenpox virus, and it becomes shingles. You can get it more than once. And transmitting it to other people is really low. You literally have to get off that rash liquid, and then it'd have to be exposed to somebody else. And so the likelihood of transmitting it to fellow workers, fellow family members is really low. So what can you do to prevent shingles? I'll tell you, shingles, you will not die from shingles. However, you will, some people, and some of you have seen this on ads for TV, some people will have this horrible burning sensation that can last well beyond the 2 to 4 weeks. And so we have a vaccine that's a 2-dose vaccine, and it's provided to anybody that's 50 or older. And even if you've had shingles in the past, I would suggest getting it so that you don't get shingles in the future. And a few of you may have had what's called Zostavax, which was an initial shingles vaccine, and it's not nearly as good as the Shingrix, so we recommend that people have the Shingrix instead. So what can you do if you get shingles? My suggestion is the key for us being able to treat you with something that's going to help resolve the nerve pain and just the pain of the rash is get to us early. So if you get that weird sensation and then a day later you break out in a rash on one side of your body, come see us. Don't wait, because after 3 days, treating you with an antiviral is just not going to do much help for you. And then that's the best thing that way. And then we have access to getting the vaccine, and at no cost to anybody in the wellness program. And what I'd ask Matt to do is just do a sign-up sheet. It takes us about a month or so to pick up all that vaccine. But if there's enough interest, we can even come on site on a Friday afternoon and give the first vaccine, or people could come into the office. And so I would definitely recommend it for those of you that don't want to get shingles.
Yeah. Did everybody hear that okay? So again, if you are interested in the vaccine for the shingle, come see us up in health and safety, and we'll get a sign-in sheet kind of going, and we can, all depends on participation. Either Beth can come here or we can do it at Champlain Medical. So just come see us.
That's good. Thanks. We heard Beth fairly well. I don't
good.
think there was too much challenge there. Hey, Beth, I don't recall if I got a shingles shot. Do I just check with my healthcare provider, I guess, or how does that work? No, Beth?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yep. Check with your healthcare provider or the Vermont Immunization Registry. I believe there's access that way, and you can look to see if you've had your shingles vaccine.
That'd be great. All right. Thank you.
How long is it good for?
It's good forever.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Nice.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Beth. Have a good day.
Thanks, Beth.
Bye.
Okay, I'll take over the screen.
Glad that worked out.
Yeah, that was all right. Okay, let's see if this is it. Okay, I think I'm on it. How's it look out there? Do you see my screen?
We got it.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, shingles. Sounds like something I wouldn't want to have. Okay, announcements. Congratulations, Chico. And Chico was just promoted to assistant service manager. So great news. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then on the additional, oh, look, I still got a typo in there from a couple weeks ago. Enrollment spelt wrong. Spelt it right in the next line, though. So there's a deadline of tomorrow, today, the 19th, the deadline for enrollment in supplemental life and accident insurance. And I have 2 attachment links here. So please check them out if you're interested. This is the last chance. If you don't do it this time, then, and you look to enter into this insurance or a lot of other insurances, there's likely, for at least for supplemental life, there's a need for a physical exam. And then if you have conditions that kind of check against you, as far as how much you can get covered by or what your rates will be, that all comes into play. Where if you do it now, all that is something they won't challenge at all. It's the right time. And then just a reminder here, we're in the healthcare premium holiday for 2024. And we have this update on the award that Ben Heath received, or recognition he received, now award from last week. Ben Dow, you were there. You want to tell us about it?
That was a great event. I've never been in the room with so many engineers since I was in college, but they have all the top newsmakers where they find these stories all around the country of different like big deal things that happen. And I thought it was really cool that sewer, that problem in North Burlington where the sewer was leaking into the lake, they chose it and they wrote this whole article, and we went
Right.
down, and I've never been to such a cool event of recognition for all kinds of different, very interesting projects. Ken.
So this is the cover sheet we're looking at, or the cover page from the magazine, ENR,
Yeah.
Engineering News Record. And ENR is like the most recognized publication in construction. And on this cover where they talk about the 25 newsmaker awards, they have Benjamin Heath's name in this list with the others that are recognized.
I think Robert Buckley is the one that did that big thing in Pennsylvania and fixed that bridge,
The bridge,
in 8
yeah.
days.
I-95.
He's the guy. He's the big guy. That big guy in the middle, down in the front.
Okay. Yep. Very cool ceremony. Pretty formal. Hey, wait a second here. It looks like Ben Heath isn't wearing a white shirt. I heard there was a story behind that.
He's got ECI blue. Of course,
Okay.
I had an extra white shirt, but he still chose to wear blue. So I thought that was really cool that he made the choice to wear ECI colors.
Yeah, he's a standout there, isn't he? Okay, there's the award. 2023 ENR Award of Excellence, Top 25 Newsmakers. Benjamin Heath. Very cool. Very proud of Ben.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, and there's Ben and Ben. You both attended, and
Yep.
In New York City.
Yeah, we were on the red carpet.
So there's the article from ENR. It's just a one-page article. It's like Jeremy there with Ben, the job site, or different. That actually is the Sayans Bridge job, isn't it? They just went out to get a picture.
That looks like
Ben in action. So good. All right. Thank you, Ben, and congratulations, Ben Heath.
One thing that Ben Heath mentioned numerous times, I know he's on, but he it was really great to get the recognition, but he mentioned that whole thing was put together because of ECI's culture and ECI's team. And I think they recognized one person, but I think that he mentioned that quite a few times. Felt a little funny and wanted to make sure that everyone else was recognized for all their work on that project and what we do.
He was our leader for that job and did a great job, but it was more than the leader that made it happen. Okay, all right. So this week we're just doing another little picture show from on the ECI sugar makers, maple sugar makers, and we have a great little picture of William Marsh here inspecting some raw sap coming in. Very cool picture. And that's at the M. Page Marsh and Sons sugar bush in operation.
Well, look at the work boot, little boots, little shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
shark
that hat
hat.
too. Shark hat. Shark hat. That's great.
It's cute.
And there's a picture of their sugar house and evaporator. Good size evaporator.
Nice.
And then this is Kane Saganowitz collecting sap from the buckets. Look at how Muddy cane gut. That's great. I love it. And then this is from the Welcome Family Maple, and there's a bucket full of sap. And there's some of their product.
Wow.
Yeah, nice light syrup, nice grade. And then we have Mojo and Macy out watching out for squirrels in at Pumpkin Hill Maple.
They're guarding the lines.
Yeah, they're guarding the line. They're watching for those squirrels, those dirty, rotten squirrels. Oh, Mojo just responded here.
Where?
All right. Then we have a new employee this week, Avery Carl in the civil group. So welcome, Avery. And then the ECI Primary Care Wellness Program, the link to the information on that. So check it out. And like Beth said, there's a lot of advantages like getting your shingles vaccine or other sort of wellness help. And really, for the most part, at no cost, unless it takes some certain level of action beyond the wellness.
So Ken,
Yeah.
I had to get some antibiotics, and I was for a little cut that I had on my hand, and it was 91 cents for the medication, and that's all.
Wow.
That's all I paid.
Wow.
For the visit.
That's pretty good.
So it's a good deal. It's really they do a good job with that primary care.
Yeah, they do. For sure. I encourage everyone to sign up. It's free. It's sponsored by ECI. It covers you on a lot of things. Even if you're already in an insurance plan for healthcare, that this is just a nice supplement, gives you a chance. If you had an issue that you've been dealing with your primary, you can always go in through this program and get like someone else's opinion and get some other help that might either cost you through the other program, or it might just be a little bit advice and assurance that what's going on, that your primary figured out is the right thing, or maybe not. So this week we're talking about the Sayans Bridge. That's at the Camp Ethan Allen training site, or seats, in Jericho. And do I have Ben Nelson, or who's going to present on this, or should I read through it?
I can. I'm here. I can read it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I will scroll ahead a little bit so you can
Okay.
cover it. Go ahead. You want to take over the screen? I can give you the screen too.
No, you can keep it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so ECI was contracted to remove a multi-plate culvert and install a new precast and cast-in-place concrete bridge with wing walls located at the Camp Ethan Allen training site, also known as the firing range, in Jericho, Vermont. The work consists of constructing 2 cofferdams, driving H-piles, pouring cast-in-place footings and wing walls, placing the precast arches and head walls, performing river and river bank work, road work, and the removal of a 24-inch culvert. Early on, we encountered challenges with our cofferdams. Once we dug out the cofferdam, we discovered that the subgrade was very soft, causing the outboard sheets to lean inwards. To solve this issue, the team decided to add hollow bar reinforcements to the sheets going across the river to the other cofferdam. We were able to pull the sheets enough to get them back to their original position. We also poured a mud slab to give us a solid work floor to allow us to drive the H-piles. Winter weather brought challenges. Cold temperatures would freeze the hoses to the pumps, so we had to monitor them and swap them out if they were frozen. Snow forced us to take extra precautions, like putting down the Thawzall and concrete blankets to keep the work area snow-free and as dry as possible. To dewater, we ended up using 2 3-inch and 2 2-inch electric pumps with the diesel generator that ran 24/7 to keep the cofferdams dry. This project had many crews from many different disciplines. Good communication and teamwork helped to make this project successful. Heavy Civil was a huge help early on by helping put together the cofferdams, as well as helping drive the 52 H-piles that were required for this job. The concrete crews did a great job with the cast-in-place foundations. The survey guys made sure that the grades and alignment were perfect, which greatly helped us with setting the arches. The setting of the arches and the head walls went flawlessly. we hired DeMag to set the arches and used our own 75-ton crane to help trip the arches upright off the truck. It took us a total of 5 hours and 30 minutes to set all components of the bridge, and once the arches were set, we grouted the seats at the abutments. The remaining work includes completing the wing walls, backfilling the bridge, placing the rest of the Type 2 rock along with the wing walls, finishing the slopes, which includes seating and matting, and finishing the road.
So pretty cool little trivia fact. I didn't know about it until I did a search on Google search that the U.S. Army Engineer regimental motto is a séance, I guess, with
Yeah.
enthusiasm. It is French for "let us try." It is not a sympathetic, half-hearted try, I say. Okay.
Yeah, I would say this was a full-hearted effort for sure.
Yeah, for us too. Yes,
Yeah.
a very appropriate name.
So in this picture here, we got Andrew Piper in the 345 excavator, and as you can see, that's a pretty large multi-plate culvert, and it was pretty impressive to see him be able to pull that out in one piece. And for how old that culvert was, it was actually in pretty good condition. You can go on to the next
Yep.
picture.
Yeah, move through.
So here we have Matt Protko. He is drilling in the first row of tiebacks in our cofferdam. So we had to support the back wall of each cofferdam. And as you can see in the top of that picture, you got Walter and Colby Saganowitz, and they're unloading a bunch of grout on the grout plant to send down to Matt.
Oh yeah, those sacks of cement are heavy.
Yeah, they are. So in this picture, you can kind of see across the river the hollow bars that we have tying each cofferdam together. So to help keep those in place, we left the soil on the inside of the second cofferdam just to give more support for the first side. And once we got the sheets back to their original position or very close, we were able to stone the cofferdam. After we stoned it, we realized that the ground is still pretty soft and the silt would pump up through the stone a little bit. So here is Walter, or sorry, not Walter, Marty, Todd Nelson. There's Jeremy in the bottom, and forgive me, but I don't know who's in the left side of this picture. They're pouring a mud slab for us so we can have a solid work floor, start driving the H piles.
Yeah, you can see the outboard side was designed as a cantilever, but it turned out to be pretty soft conditions. The inboard side, the land side, was with the tiebacks was very firm and a good support. We had cranes and big excavators up there and everything.
Yep. In this picture, we're starting to drive the H piles. Like I said, 52 H piles, total 26 on each foundation or on each footer. So it's a lot of H piles, and the heavy civil team did a great job. They built this little jig here, so survey would come out and align us, and we put the jig where it needed to go, and we were able to drive 4 at a time, and that really helped speed up the process. And in this picture, we have Kobe Saganowitz and Sean Brackett. They're guiding that H pile in.
So they were vibrated initially. I don't think you have any pictures of the impact hammer, but they were
I don't think I put any in there, but yeah, we'd vibe them all in, and we put the big the impact hammer on there, and we'd strike them.
It's called an open-ended diesel hammer, and it's just big ram that comes down on through a piston in the cylinder, and it fires off the diesel and drives it downward as it pushes the ram back up for another stroke. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. In this picture, we have Troy Sheltra, Ben, oh, forgive me, his last name starts with a C, but, and Josh Davies. And they're pouring the footer for one of the abutments. As you can see in this picture, the insane rebar work that they had to do, and it was very impressive how fast that these guys can put it up, and um, all the little intricacies of it. And you can see Josh in the back looks like he's cleaning up some of the spillover on the 2x4s there.
Okay.
So once we were able to strip the forms off the footings, then we were able to start backfilling. So we were able to get our little mini excavator in there, and we were able to feed down all the granular from above with the bigger machine, and he was able to spread it all around with the mini. It was pretty cool. Just the multiple factors going into this and the moving parts, and we were able to get it done pretty quickly and effectively. Here we have Brad Christian, and he is placing some rock on the riverbanks. As you can see, he's doing a very good job, and that rock work came out very well.
Yeah, it looks good.
So here we are finally setting the arches. In this picture, we got Richie, Randy, and it looks like Zach Hoisington, as well as Jaden Waterhouse is holding the tagline there to keep it straight. I know on the other, so we had Randy and Richie on one side, and Andrew Piper and Jeremy Dean were on the other side, and they would lower it down, and they were able to place the shims and get the gap that we needed. And this system worked very well for us, and we were able to get it done in a very timely manner.
So those looks like cable or tie rod across the inside of the arch. That's to keep it stable and keep it at the right gap.
Yeah, it was to keep the span right while they were placing it, and if the span had changed a little bit, I'm pretty sure you could tighten those up a little bit to bring it in or bring it out.
Yep, cool.
And once the grout is cured, we take those out.
Right, yep.
This is a cool picture. So this was leading up to the actual setting of the arches. DeMag said that he believed we could do it with 2 cranes by lifting the arches off of the truck instead of lifting it off with 1 crane, placing it in sand and having to re-rig it. So we would hook up our crane to the side, lifting holes, and we would put the DeMag crane on the side. They would lift up together just enough for the truck to drive out, and then our crane would lower and the DeMag crane would raise up at the same time, and that's how we were able to trip them right side up off the truck. And this really sped up the process, and I think it helped us
Then you
dramatically.
just disconnect our crane and then the mag swings it around.
Yep.
Was that Bill that was running crane?
Yep, Bill from DeMag, yeah, he was great.
Yep.
And in our crane, it was Matt Procco.
Yep.
Also did good. Also was great. And here we have, this is the last picture is we have the bridge all primed up. We put the rubber membrane on each of the seams, and you can see the little steel plates that are put on the last 2 arches of the bridge, and that's to make sure that the arches don't separate when we start backfilling as they get pushed up against the head walls. So yeah, this is all set for backfill now. You can see the the forms, the concrete crew was moving in almost as fast as we could get out of there to set up the wing walls. And I think yesterday they poured the wing walls and it went successful. So
Good.
next week we'll be able to strip them and we'll be ready to backfill.
We do have one more. This
Yep.
was a couple days ago.
Yeah, and this was I think this was the day I took this the day we finished after everyone had left. I just thought it was pretty cool just to see it all finally across the river.
So the final span is, what was it? I forget the dimensions.
35 feet.
35, and that culvert that was there was only like
It was
12
a
or something?
16 foot wide culvert.
Yeah. So quite a bit more hydraulic opening here.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy how much that river can rise and lower in any given storm. I mean, we saw it so high that it would, that it would be right at the top of the cofferdams, and then there'd be times where, you could see each rock through the river. So I mean, it was pretty cool. And
Yeah, it must have really backed up before this replacement, this new culvert was in with the
yeah, I'm
limited
sure
opening.
it did.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ben. Great photos, great presentation. Good job
Thank
out
you.
there. It looks great. And you see, I have from the photo archives, I have a picture of us driving piles for the Harvey Crossing Bridge.
Oh.
So that's a nearly identical to the Assayan Bridge, just upstream or downstream. I can't remember.
Upstream.
You know, Ben? Upstream? Yep.
Yeah, just
So
barely
at
upstream.
the seats again in December 2013. So we're driving the piles in, the production piles. You see one in the pit in the cofferdam there. Just finished driving, it looks like, with the yellow vibratory hammer. So very similar job. In fact, it was interesting. The bid documents for this Assayans Bridge had pictures of our cofferdam as a guide to the bidders on how to do this. So very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Ben, and I'll turn it over to the safety department.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching a group setting, please send over attendance so we can capture who was here and who missed, so we can find the ones that missed and have them watch the recording that we'll have out here shortly. Let's start the day with a good JHA and let's have a good, safe day out there. Let's be safe. Have a great day.
You guys.
Thank you. Take care.